Welcome back, everyone, to part 38 of Immortal Way of Life. We are so close to the end. And here we go. Nishishin, the heavenly tribulation is coming. Please come back to the White Emperor Pavilion. Now you can see off screen we advanced to year 819 and we have some more cultivation, though we are not close to late deity yet. As soon as we enter the White Emperor Pavilion, we can hear Nishishin yelling something loudly. Master, please let me go with you. I have been wanting to see what the tribulation looks like. This time, fellow Taoist primordial child from the Xuan Sect was invited by me to be a protector. If neither of us are present, it's inevitable that the White Emperor Pavilion will suffer the same fate as the Xuan Sect did last time. And the two he refers to is himself and Nishishin. But, Gunyang Yu is here. Please help me persuade my master brother to replace another elder to guard the White Emperor Pavilion. Sure, we'll speak up for him. Yeah, there are other elders here, so there shouldn't be any mistakes. Exactly. Enough. The White Emperor's voice suddenly turned serious, contrary to his usual demeanor. Whether I succeed in crossing the heavenly tribulation this time or not, the White Emperor Pavilion will be handed over to you young guys. If you still don't understand the bigger picture, how can I rest assured? I understand now. Okay, junior sister, follow me. After departing from Wuling City, the two of you flew towards the west. Yep, you didn't let him go because you were worried about him, right? If there's any accident this time, I really don't have the confidence to fully protect him. You and the White Emperor departed from Guangling City and flew straight to the North Ning Sea. Soon the voice of primordial child came through the thick thunderous clouds and reached your ears. Come, let's drink. Before long, the voice of the primordial child passed through the thick lightning clouds. Looking in the direction of the sound, a faintly visible island can be seen. But the White Emperor not only invited Primordial Child, but also several deity transformation cultivators. We on one hand have White Deer, who's normally reclusive. The Palace Master Xingning doesn't seem to be present at all right now. And then also the Fire Qilin and Ming Mountain Chadra, so from my sect. As you were lost in thought, you followed him to the presence. As you had speculated, Paragon White Deer was standing alone, while Primordial Child was drinking and conversing with the human-formed Qilin. Alright, is it? Yep, the spiritual energy of this island is less violent compared to other areas in the sea. I once had some fortunate encounters here, and since then this island has maintained its current status. It has been several hundred years, yet for some reason it has not been assimilated by the surrounding seas. So that's it, that's why you do it here. Like you have some good karma you've accumulated here, and you feel this is the most suitable place for yourself. Before crossing the tribulation, I need to adjust my breath. Would you be willing to go in my place and greet the others? Sure. Can I trade? Look at this. I can trade with some of them. You walk towards the trio that's chatting. I, on behalf of my senior brother, thank everyone for coming to witness the ceremony. Yep, no need to thank me. Moreover, Ningzhuo also has a senior brother presiding, and those bastards from the heavenly demon cult must at least leave one deity transformation member as a member of their clan, otherwise they are taking big damage. I agree, the ancient god sect only has one deity transformation cultivator, and their strength is average at best. They only dare to use some occult methods. I am a bit worried, says Ming Mountain Scatterer. After all, well, no need to boost someone else's prestige. Huh, what's so impressive about them? They dare to come and snatch the sword, but who knows if they can actually use it. My Xuan Dao Mystic Dao sect has guarded the Heavenly Demon Eye for thousands of years. Has the Heavenly Demon sect ever had the upper hand? Well, this time it's different. If it wasn't for the help of Elder Yan Xiao, I'm afraid we might have fallen for the trap in the Heavenly Devil Eye and lost it. This girl is one of old Link's people in Ningyo who doesn't know that we are as close as brothers, so him and the White Emperor. And they were arguing and so on. What's up with Paragon? I can trade with you. I can steal your stuff, hell yes. 3 tier 6 materials. I'll buy that. Yo, what's up? I thank you for coming on behalf of my senior brother. I won't refuse this request. Oh, is there any connection between you and senior brother? No. The White Emperor sat cross-legged in the center of the open space, adjusting his breath. When he saw you approaching, he looked towards you. Did you say hello to them? Not yet, or will fight? We are ready for a fight. However, the Palace Master of Star Palace doesn't seem to have arrived yet. Oh? Although the Palace Master of Star Palace has a strange personality, I don't think she would go back on her word. I believe she must have her own considerations. Ooh, it's getting darker. During the brief moment when you were chatting with the White Emperor, the sky darkened and a pitch-black thundercloud covered the sea within a radius of 100 miles, or hundreds of miles. It's about to begin. You take the iron sword from your bag and hand it over to the White Emperor. The White Emperor receives it and steps on like Sorchi himself, flying up to stand in mid-air. Everyone else puts down what they were holding or doing and gather around. Thank you, fellow Taoists, for coming to witness the ceremony. I have practiced cultivation for more than 1,000 years, traveling to many places along the way. I studied the Tao in Ningyo, gained enlightenment in Zhongzhou, defended the Tao in Yongzhou, and now I am finally being suppressed by the world and must undergo tribulation so I can ascend. Yes, after cultivating to the deity transformation stage, I've been highly esteemed by fellow Taoists of righteous factions in various states and have been hailed as the #1 sword immortal in the 9 continents. By the way, I'm hoping in the future game, like Immortal Way of Life 2, that the 9 different continents are playable. That would be so cool. Today, under the Tribulation clouds, I will definitely live up to this title of the first swordsman on the world. The White Emperor spoke with thunderous authority. The other deity transformation cultivators silently withdrew from the scope of the dark clouds, and you calmly followed them. The thundering dark clouds seemed to have consciousness, rapidly expanding in the direction of your retreat with precision and speed, as if wanting to trap you. Seeing this, expert Paragon White Deer's face remained unchanged. But his figure became faster and he managed to flee from it. When you turned around to take a look, you found that Fire Chilin, Primordial Child, and Ming Mountain Chadra were leisurely chatting as if taking a relaxed walk. Little one, don't worry. Unless it's determined to compete with cultivators, it will just drive them away. Yeah. It has one target, in this case, the White Emperor, and that's the one target it will go for. You nod. Looking back at the White Emperor standing in the center of the heavenly tribulation clouds, one could see his clothes fluttering as his flying sword danced slightly. It was unclear what kind of spell he displayed. The first tribulation is indeed the easiest heavenly thunder tribulation. Oh yeah? In the ancient times, there are records of more than 10 types of thunder calamities, and each one requires a different approach to confront. Nobody knows what thunder calamity they will face when they ascend. The first few thunder calamities are with relatively weaker power, and they happen to be the wind and fire tribulation, the yin and yang tribulation, and so on. Before Ming Mountain Chadra could finish speaking, a Sorchi streaked across the sky and forcefully split the previous gathering clouds of heavenly tribulation in half. The power of the heavenly tribulation was scattered by the Sorchi. Seeing that the White Emperor remained calm and composed, you can help out but let out a sigh of relief. Huh, worthy of being the White Emperor, choosing to handle it in this way. Without much respite, the calamity clouds once again gathered. The second tribulation is coming. It's been a while since we've seen that old guy, White Emperor, demonstrate his skills. If those demonic sects don't come to cause trouble, it would be nice to just watch him go through this tribulation. After he finished speaking Ming Mountain Chatra, like in order to show agreement. Let me see this one. It's red. Could it be the wind and fire tribulation? Alongside the thunderous roar, apart from the flame of heaven descending, there were also several flashes of red light. But he's not going to fall that easily. Never mind. Okay. The fire Chilin snorted coldly, then transformed into a huge fireball blocking the red light. Okay, not only was the flame from heaven descending, but also some weird red light attacking. With a loud bang, the flame of heaven came into contact with the red light, unleashing a terrifying amount of energy. Amidst the sea of flames, a giant beast silhouette faintly emerged. Place Unicorn Sage Zhong-Yi. You cowardly sneak attackers, show yourself to me. Blood Sword Immortal, High Blood Sword Immortal. The divine beast Qilin. Ling Xuan really has great faith that he's able to invite you. As the residual smoke from the collision dissipated, 3 figures appeared in the distance. One of them was the Patriarch Blood River, whom you had previously encountered, like when he was attacking Wuling City and so on. Yep, Bloodsword Palace. Exactly. Isn't this the old man Blood River? Back then you chased after the White Emperor, but left like a beaten dog. I still haven't forgotten that pitiful and embarrassed look. I just love how they are like bashing each other, just making fun of each other. The expression on the face of the High Blood Sword Immortal darkened as he watched the deity transformation experts from Ningyo and circle him from all around. And that's like, this is the guy, the bald guy that multiple times attacked the White Emperor Pavilion and Wuling City, but every time got beaten up. This White Emperor boasting about being the #1 sword immortal is nothing more than a rat in my eyes. If he didn't learn our Bloodsword Palace techniques, where would he get this far? Although he is despicable, it's not worth it for us to fight so many deity transformations for him. Why don't we? Lady Crimson Blood, shut up, it's not your turn to speak here. By the way, she is the one character that saved Ling Xuan or the White Emperor back then and brought him back to the Bloodsword Palace and then like learned techniques and so on with him, and they both managed to reach Nason's soul at the same time. So there's some story going on with Lady or Fairy Crimson Blood and the White Emperor. The woman in red lightly reprimanded with a sentence, and the Blood River guy no longer speak but retreated. Let Ling Xuan, let the White Emperor hand over the immortal executing sword and I can spare his life. 3 pairs of 5. I get it now. 3 versus 5, so there are 4 additional, like besides myself, there are 4 more deities on our side, and they only have 3. If you dare to make any reckless moves, don't blame us for taking advantage of our numbers. The woman in red remained unmoved, instead summoning a demon sword, which she pointed ahead. Weya, don't rush. So that's the name of that fairy Crimson Blood. The heavenly tribulation has just begun. Let's see how far Ling Xuan can go. The powerful deity transformation experts are hesitant to engage in battles with each other. As you understood, while the deity transformation experts of Ningyo have agreed to protect the White Emperor out of friendship, they are not willing to risk their lives and fight for dominance using their domain. Remember, every use of the domain brings your tribulation forward 100 years, and no one is willing to take that risk for the White Emperor. But these demonic sects are different, and you can't grasp their bottom line. In the sky, the dissipating calamity cloud began to rotate and gather again. As the disaster cloud was about to condense, the White Emperor condensed several huge sword rays and swung them towards the calamity cloud. In an instant, the spiritual chi of heaven and earth circulated urgently. The White Emperor remained unchanged, but a layer of spiritual energy shield somehow disappeared under the Thunder Calamity. Oh, the third calamity was the Creation Tribulation. Interesting. All things belong to creation, but spiritual energy is stolen by cultivators. Although the Creation Tribulation is not very powerful, it has the ability to dissolve any shield, making it an extremely difficult Thunder Calamity. Once we do our Heavenly Tribulation, this is actually a calamity we do not want at all. It is so bad when you just lose all of your shield. Normally you try to stack up shield over multiple rounds, and it can just vanish in an instant. Very bad. Ling Xuan is a swordsman. Naturally, he needs to undergo tribulation in the way of a swordsman. Relying on a shield is not something a swordsman would do. However, this Thunder Calamity is not so easy to handle. Oh, the next one. Upon hearing this, everyone looked up at the sky, only to see the previously purple calamity clouds gradually turning black. Just looking at it made you feel as though your heart was being crushed by a stone and left you with a suffocating feeling. Is this the Heart Demon Tribulation? Mingshan's tone was filled with surprise. Well, this Heart Demon Tribulation should only appear when the mental state of those crossing the tribulation is unstable. How could the White Emperor? And Fairy Crimson Blood just snorts. The two Heavenly Demon Sect disciples have been watching us for so long. Do they really think that our Bloodsword Palace will be arrogant enough to fight them, and we both suffer losses just for you to benefit? I know that what you want is the Immortal Severing Sword in my hand. Perhaps we can make a trade. If the two of you help me take the Immortal Executing Sword from the White Emperor, I will exchange it with the Immortal Severing Sword. How about it? Two beams of light flashed by, and before the people of the Bloodsword Palace appeared a man and woman. It's likely they are the Heavenly Demon Cult disciples. Venerable Red Lotus and Venerable Baleful. You two didn't give up. Oh? Heavenly Demon Tao Sect or Heavenly Demon Sect Supreme Elder. Are you serious, High Bloodsword Immortal? I didn't expect the White Emperor to actually bring upon himself the Heart Demon Tribulation. I will hold off the Qilin, and you, and she's referring to your other senior brother, can take care of the Elder from the Xuandao Sect. The rest are not worth mentioning. They are basically looking down on Paragon, White Deer, Ming Mountain, Shatra, and myself. As soon as these words were spoken, even the free-spirited Ming Mountain Scaler became greatly annoyed. But before he could finish speaking, the previously silent Paragon White Deer unexpectedly rushed out first. Yeah, he has a bottled-up temper. Let's fight! The Fire Qilin confronted Red Lotus, the Primordial Child clashed with the Blood River, High Sword Immortal. The deity transformation characters of both sides, good and evil, instantly formed a chaotic battle. Meanwhile, Patriarch Blood River, who had been standing beside that Fairy Crimson Blood, was now looking at you with an evil grin. Beat him up? Absolutely. If you are a nascent soul cultivator at this point in time, you get the option to hide behind others. But to be honest, he's the weakest deity transformation character ever. So we definitely have to beat him up. That is our commitment to the White Emperor. We definitely have to do it. I could have probably removed triple vitality from my skill set. I will never be using it. But to be honest, it's not even worth looking at this guy's manual set equipment and so on. He even opened his domain. It increases sword damage dealt by himself by 50%, and he takes half damage now. And it looks like a pretty good buff, I'll be honest. taking half damage, etc., dealing 50% more. It's the exact replica of this Heavenly Dao suppression due to extreme or very hard difficulty. But who cares? This guy is so pathetically weak, we don't care. He should die next turn. Let's go. Good night, buddy. Good night. With a mournful scream, Patriarch Blood River fell due to your divine skill and onto the surface of the sea, his fate unknown. The Bloodsword's palace reputation precedes it, but it's surprising to find such weak cultivators amongst its followers who have undergone deity transformation. I just love it. We are just mocking them. Best thing. The reputation of the Bloodsword Immortals is like well known throughout the 9 continents. And your one divine skill caused an indelible crack to appear within the Blood River faction as he fell, or as Blood River fell onto the sea surface, and the other deities were astonished. Blood-crazed old dog, raising such a waste like the Blood River, Patriarch. I guess the glory of your Bloodsword Palace ends here. Before you could pursue the heavenly injured Patriarch Blood River, a loud voice of the primordial child had already reached your ears. As you try to continue to descend down, your eyes are met with a sky full of red sochi, intermixed with a fierce expression that emanated from the eyes of the high blood sword immortal. While the primordial child was firmly suppressed by the sochi, he still loudly mocked the former, fearing that other deity transformation powerhouses in the combat had not taken notice of your victory. As expected, the Fairy Crimson Blood's attacks faltered, allowing the previously helpless Paragon White Deer to become much more relaxed. In midair, the White Emperor swung his sword and split apart the Tribulation clouds. However, perhaps the previous hard demon Tribulation had some effect on him, or maybe he needed to use secret arts. His expression wasn't as calm as before. Fortunately, your victory has inspired the cultivators of the righteous path. Although they haven't managed to delay the completion of the White Emperor's Tribulation, at least you turned the tide. The voice of Star Palace Master Xingning suddenly came from behind, and the person she stopped was Patriarch Darkbones, who had taken the Immortal Executing Sword. He now looked at Starbell with a grim expression. Star Palace Master, hello! The worms of the ancient god sect couldn't resist anymore and finally decided to take action. When did you discover me, Patriarch Darkbones? The little tricks you're playing won't fool me. From what I know, the Star Palace Lord has no connection with the White Emperor. Are you really going to become enemies with my ancient god sect for his sake? What? Do you think you're qualified to teach me how to do things? Back then, the ancient god sect manipulated our elder and caused our Star Palace to lose its reputation. Do you think I've forgotten about it? In the recent years, I will settle the old accounts with you. Basically, today I'll settle the old accounts with you. Although the techniques of the ancient god sect also cultivate these soul sense, they have no advantage in front of the Star Palace, and as such, Patriarch Darkbones was easily beaten by Starbell's full-strength attacks. You saw Starbell already suppressing Darkbones. Just as you breathed a sigh of relief, suddenly you felt an inexplicable sense of crisis. This is not right. The ancient god sect has been planning for years. How could they only send this one guy to take the risk of seizing the sword? You suddenly looked towards the White Emperor and saw an old man walking towards him with a cane, silently approaching him from behind. This person's soul sense cultivation is unfathomable, and combined with everyone being focused on Patriarch Darkbones, no one noticed him. Shout, "Careful!" The 7th Thunder Calamity descended with a loud crash, striking against the protective shield of the White Emperor. With a thunderous boom, the spiritual shield was once again dissipated. At the same time, an old man waved his staff in the air, and a terrifying wave of energy struck the unprotected back of the White Emperor. Go. Unable to completely dodge in time, the White Emperor flew backwards while urging the remaining protective sword sheet towards the energy wave. Although he couldn't block it completely, he was able to weaken it. The residual energy wave hit the White Emperor squarely. Before anyone could react, the old man took a step forward and appeared beside the White Emperor, reaching out to snatch the immortal sword. Stop! The White Emperor conjured a giant spiritual sword out of thin air, ready to strike the old man. But unexpectedly, the immortal sword moved first, a phantom sword out from the sword, driving it towards the man. The attack of the immortal sword was clearly far beyond the old man's expectations, but the White Emperor's strike followed closely behind. Master, what's wrong with you? Shuana, concentrate on dealing with the last two heavenly tribulations. Don't worry about me. Huh? Spirit in the sword? The mysterious old man with the cane. But the secret arts have been interrupted. It seems to be the will of heaven, old grandma says. So that's how it is. Are you the missing master of the Imperial sword sect from back then? You actually sealed the immortal sword with your own soul. You even managed to deceive me. Who are you? No wonder you were able to break free from the control of the devil god Gu even in that situation. Your abilities are truly impressive. The immortal sword seems to have undergone some changes. Huh. Could it be it has devoured something interesting? The old man murmured with a hoarse and eerie voice, but he didn't mean to rush to take action. You put out your hand and retrieved the immortal sword. We're getting closer to the truth. Standing alone between the old man and the White Emperor. We can now either like attack him directly, give me your words, immediately a frontal attack. We can ask him the stuff or wait and see what, just attack. Don't worry, senior brother, leave it to me from here on. Want to snatch the sword from my hand? Let me see if you have the skills. The old man ignored you and instead looked towards the battlefield where the sides of like righteous and demonic factions were fighting against each other. Although some have already noticed the situation occurring here, the battlefield between the deity transformation experts cannot simply cease on command. After a while, he seemed to have discovered something, and a creepy smile suddenly appeared on his face. Then he glanced at you lightly, and you felt a huge might suppression coming towards you. Triple question marks. Hello. Late deity. Shin Megami Tensei. When dealing 100 damage, like soul sense damage in a single hit, the enemy gets chi disruption. More HP, At the beginning of the battle, enemy gains wounded sense. You get a frickload, like a fuckload of mental, like soul sense. And, okay, so you get a lot of soul sense at the start of battle, but with each turn it will be reduced. The enemy absorbs 5 less chi at the start of battle. He gets a lot more damage when his HP is below a certain point. And then just like Yagami stab and so on. Sure. What's his equipment looking like? Shield, shield, shield. Okay, interesting. I wanna get rid of this one. Let's go. Let us fight this old man. 31k. And his late deity transformation. The first one of his kind. Should be pretty interesting. I know a future battle will be annoying as fuck. We can block all of it with my shield. I myself have a very high soul sense since I took all of the pills, so it shouldn't be a big issue. Like remember, soul sense often deals damage depending on how much more soul sense you have than the enemy, and if there's no big gap. I don't like having minus 14 chi per round though. That is not fun. Minus 16? And you only lower it by... Oh my god. That is dirty. Minus... That is actually a really dirty setup. But now let's deal a ton of damage to him. Yeah, looking good. I like it. Exactly, almost died. Perfect. That's what we like to see. And now I'd be at 10k shield, and we kill him. With a loud bang, your divine skill shattered his final defense, causing even the distant island to crumble in the aftermath of the combat. The group of deities who were just fighting now shifted their attention towards you. Huh, is this all the strength you possess? In my eyes, it's nothing special. I didn't expect to be forced to this point. That's it. I've been waiting for tens of thousands of years. It's time to bring it to a close. You will die without a complete corpse. Checkmate. Some weird sounds, I have no clue what the fuck those sounds are, but with a strange sound, the old man's originally weak body quickly expanded by like 2 times, a factor of 2. His clothes, like the clothes wrapped around his upper body, were already burst open, and even his skin color changed into a grayish green. What is this thing? Why do I have a familiar feeling? Wait, is that the gluttonous monster? This old guy isn't dead yet. Evil gluttonous monster. I remember this is the ancient god sect's founding master. What a joke. Deity transformation cultivators only stay in the lower realm for 1,000 years. This gluttonous beast achieved deity transformation 10,000 years ago. How could he still be alive today? Patriarch gluttonous. Look at this guy. Ignorant. Human cultivators have a lifespan of at most a few thousand years. Deity transformed demons can live for several tens of thousands of years. But if one can possess the bloodline of an ancient divine beast, their lifespan can break through to 100,000 years, even longer. Today is the day I attain eternal life, and you will all be checkmate without a complete corpse. In mid-air, the 8th Thunder Calamity, the A9, was slowly taking shape, but at this moment everyone's focus was on this creature's body. Swoosh. In the midst of everyone's watchful eyes, Patriarch Gluttonous suddenly disappeared without a trace. Or it should be said, he moved so fast nobody could catch his figure. A red light flashed by, and the air was immediately filled with a thick blood fairy chi. Even deity transformation experts can help but feel dazed. In just this moment, Patriarch Gluttonous had already rushed towards the spot where the demon sect and righteous path had faced off, his 2 arms extending numerous vines that wrapped around demon sword in the hands of the High Blood Sword Immortal and Venerable Red Lotus. Not good. The High Blood Sword Immortal instantly woke up and dodged the vines, and thrust his sword into the chest of Patriarch Gluttonous. He was about to exert his strength, but felt that something inside the monster's body was resisting the sword. He couldn't help but pause for a moment. But in the instant he was dazed, the Patriarch Gluttonous' abdomen transformed into the head of a Chilean beast and bit towards the hand holding that blood sword. High Blood Immortal wanted to pull out the demon sword, but the sword was tightly stuck in the body of that Patriarch Gluttonous. In desperation, he had to let go and dodge backwards. On the other hand, Venerable Red Lotus had yet to react before the demon sword was taken from their grasp. Oh no, the sword of immortality has been... I was careless. I didn't expect this old ghost to suddenly attack us. Chase quickly. Fairy Crimson Blood. The killing intent just now was the Immortal Executing Sword. It turns out that the sword in Ling Xuan's hand is not the Immortal Executing Sword, but the long-lost Immortal Sword. This just got interesting. Today, the 4 swords gather together. This is indeed a rare opportunity. That old ghost he's talking about, Patriarch Gluttonous, used some secret arts. Even if I were to activate my domain now, I might not be his opponent. However, he has too many enemies now. Let's just follow him silently and watch the situation unfold. The demonic Patriarch Gluttonous, who had taken possession of 2 demon swords, became increasingly insane. Ignoring the pursuit of two deity transformed beings behind him, he charged straight towards you. Are we ready for the battle? What does he have now? The process of refining a spirit beast's bloodline and infusing it into your body is extremely dangerous, and few people can maintain their sanity. That's the first one, blood devouring skill. Plague Tortoise Body. At the end of the round, absorb chi until your aura limit is reached. True Dragon Body. You get more chi per turn, up to 10. More upper limit. At the beginning, lose HP and absorb more chi. The Immortal Executing Sword. When you unleash it, your opponent must fail their next skill and they will take 300 points of damage. This is important. They fail their first skill, if you have it. Sword of Immortality. The enemy gets entangled for 45 and gets binding. Immortal Severing Sword. You receive 1000 points of damage, you get 1000 shield, and the next hit is like weakened. Then the Immortal Sword Formation Remnants. At the end of the turn, you gain Noxious Mist and the enemy gains Noxious Blood. Oh, this is the worst one. Refined Blood. Use it or can only be used when below 50% HP. Consumes blood of the dragon you possess and removes all debuffs. I don't like this shit. All debuffs. And doubles the damage of your next track, that's fine. Then Harnessing Spiritual Palm deals damage plus 3% of the enemy's max HP and destroys a random buff on the opponent. Sure. Annihilation deals damage, dissipates all other chi and increases the damage per chi dissipated. This is the ultimate battle. Now you could take some pills if you really want to. Like there are chi gathering pills, plus 1 chi, plus 2 chi. Wow, plus 2 chi per pill. This one plus 1 chi per pill, etc. You could boost yourself, but we'll go for it. Hell yeah. And I can tell this will be a long episode. 50k. Old Ghost of the Ancient God Sect, hand over the sword. Minus 8k damage. Stay calm, Red Lotus. Attacking now would not be advantageous. This old monster is actually still alive. And he has his domain active. Restores an equal amount of life when dealing damage. And he takes half damage. Besides that, he also has the blood of the Kunpung. Kunpung. The first skill damage taken each turn gives him a number of power surge, which is plus 1 damage per stack, equal to the damage. Then 5% of the damage he takes is diverted back to me. He loses 10 debuffs at the start of each turn. Holy yeah. Let's go. At least I don't have entanglement yet or something. But you saw like we were assisted and someone dealt 8k damage to him. That is one way you can deal with this guy. You just need to block forever. Immortal Executing Sword. Drive, Ming Mountain Gatherer. Countless vines shot out from underneath, tightly entangling Patriarch Gluttonous. However, soon after he managed to get out of most of them. Let me go meet him. Primordial Child executed a finger technique, causing a massive fingerprint to slowly appear in the air before pressing down towards Patriarch Gluttonous. I love the animation, by the way, for this. Bam! Look at it, so cool. After a loud crash, the fingerprints dissipated. The ferocious beast that bravely withstood this attack was only pushed back a few meters and did not suffer fatal injuries. Okay, we had, in case you missed it, this one sword debuff which caused our first skill to fail. Remove layer. Okay, we are not we don't have entanglement, not entanglement binding. That's important. Let's just stack more debuffs on him. Like, we like debuffs, let's be honest. By the way, what is this? Noxious Mist and... I need to check it out. Noxious Mist, skill damage increased by 10%. And what is my Noxious Blood? I have no clue. And the turn. I feel like he's gonna cleanse his debuffs. Yep, he just did. He used his Dragon Blood to cleanse all of his debuffs. He's almost done. Let's attack together. Paragon White Gear. I'm not going to fall that easily. 4k damage. Plays Unicorn Sage. Raw. 8k damage. Break it with it. Another 6.5k damage. You can see people assist you and thus it's easy. Only 5 skills this turn. That sucks. At least I got some amount. And he's taking damage from it. He is super close to dying. And we are still super healthy. Good night, sayonara. Truly, the younger generation is frightening. I didn't expect a small Imperial sword sect to leave behind so many troubles. The Imperial sword sect was destroyed because of you and was inexplicably slandered for colluding with the demonic sect. When you plotted against them back then, did you ever think about today? With your cultivation, you didn't have to resort to these crooked paths and unorthodox methods. Now you're simply facing the consequence of your own actions. The Patriarch Clutness seemed to want to say something, but suddenly began to cough violently. As if something was about to burst out of his body, his mutated form suddenly twisted and bubbled with large and small bubbles. My body, in the end, still cannot bear the bloodline of the divine beast. Use your sword to give me a good end. Die. This sword is for the Imperial sword sect. You mobilize the spiritual energy of your entire body, urging the Immortal sword to pierce into Patriarch Clutness' body. For a moment, the sword aura surged and the mutated body of Patriarch Clutness slowly receded to its normal state at a visible speed. The sword of immortality, the Immortal executing sword, and the Immortal severing sword flew into the air from his hand, emitting a dazzling red light. It seems like they were trying to compete with the Immortal sword, but the radiance quickly faded. Heavenly chi began to pour into the Immortal sword like crazy, and this power even forced other deity transformation powerhouses to retreat. What's this? Those 3 demon swords are... This is impossible. Truly incredible. The power of the sword is such that even I know. It should be said that anyone present would be impossible to survive from the sword. You really are skilled, aren't you? The Immortal sword, the first of the 4 swords, has the ability of devouring. It's surprising it can even devour the energy of other demon swords. Unlike before, after devouring Patriarch, Clutness, and the 3 demon swords, your Immortal sword in your hand became lighter and lighter until you couldn't feel its weight anymore. Could it be that this is the power of the Heavenly Dowry? Yes, it seems that the Immortal sword had devoured a portion of the source energy of the Heavenly Tree. Nowadays, this Immortal sword not only recovered back to its peak, but even surpassed it. In this way, it's just right. You wield the Immortal sword and stand in front of the remaining deities. If anyone still wants to fight, try and take the sword. Plus 300 reputation. Perhaps it was because of the terrifying strike you used just now to slay that ferocious beast. Or maybe due to the overwhelming power of the Immortal sword. No one dared to make a move against you. A deafening thunderclap shattered the standoff between you, and at last the dark red thunder calamity took shape, covering the entire sea area. Countless bright red arcs of electricity flickered faintly amidst the thunderclouds. Shurna, White Emperor, it's the last tribulation. This heaven and earth tribulation is not easy to handle. Senior Ling Xuan, you must hold on. Fairy Crimson Blood, triple dots. What? Are you afraid you can't withstand the thunder calamity? No. Rest assured, I am more more aware of Ling Xuan's strength than you are. Huh. The Red Lotus, he's talking to Red Lotus. Red Lotus, the demon sword has already been destroyed. Staying here no longer holds any meaning. If the White Emperor successfully undergoes tribulation, he won't spare us. Huh. Let's go. A crimson thunder pillar descended with a massive sign, spiritual sword welcoming it. The moment the sword and thunder pillar made contact, a dazzling flash erupted, and surging spiritual energy scattered, making it impossible to see what happened at the center of the clouds. Did he succeed? Did he fail? Who knows? And well, you can already see it from the background. The calamity clouds gradually dissipated, and numerous beams of light penetrated the clouds and showered down upon the sea. In the center of the beam, a figure could be seen slowly flying upwards. However, if someone were to probe with the soul sense, it would be impossible to sense anything at all. Did it work? I knew he would be fine. Yep. You can't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Blood, like high blood sword immortal. Take your people and leave here, and I can let you live. The White Emperor's voice faintly echoed in everyone's ear. Ling Xuan, you haven't changed at all, still with the same arrogant tone as before. Not bad. I truly can't do anything to you now. But don't forget, Weya saved you back then. If it weren't for our Blood-Sword Palace, where would you be today? Everything I've done in my later half of my life has been to atone for the sins I committed in Blood-Sword Palace back then. If you truly had a clear conscience, then what about this tribulation of the Heart Demon? Fairy Crimson's blood speaks. Enough. Big brother, today we only came here for the Immortal executing sword. Now that the sword has been destroyed, there's no use talking. Let's go. As he watched the group from Blood-Sword Palace turn into red light and fly away, the White Emperor seemed to want to say something but hesitated. Junior sister, I don't have much time left. In the future, I'll rely on you to rebuild the Master's body. I can only ask for your help in the future. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Fellow Taoists, I would like to thank you for your help today. The Ancient God Sect suffered great losses and all demon swords have been destroyed. I believe the demonic sects will not dare to attack Ninja again for the time being. Farewell for now. If fates allows, we'll meet in the higher realm. It seems like everything is about to come to an end, but then you hear Starbelt's voice from behind you. Stop! Who allowed you to leave? Patriarch Bloodbones! Star Palace Master, don't you dare bully others now. Things have come to this point. Could it be that you still want to force me to go all out and fight with you until both of us are injured? Well, and us too. The Lord of the Star Palace is not just one person. Do you really think you can handle all of us alone? It's rare to loosen up my muscles and bones. What's wrong with hitting you a few more times? If you want to fight, I can also make a move. So, what should we do with him? Let's leave it up to you. Kill him or let him go. These members of the Ancient God Sect are nothing but calamities if left in the world. Upon hearing these words, his face immediately turned ugly. How can I get you to spare me? Why don't I make you an offer? If you force me, I'll destroy my storage pouch and you'll get nothing. Okay, what can you come up with? Like, I don't mind you. We can kill him at any point in time. There's no need, but if we can get some resources, it's not bad. In recent years, I've collected some treasures of heaven and earth, such as the seed of the eternal world tree, sap, etc. They are extremely rare 6th grade material. I'm sure everyone knows the value. Oh, and there's also the Divine Soul Pill. This is the 6th grade pill that can enhance one's soul sense. Star Palace Master, you should find it useful, right? These, and also these 6th grade pills, 6th grade spirit boats, and a 6th grade formation flag. As long as you're willing to spare me, I can offer them all to you with both hands. Do I look so easy to deal with? Huh, why aren't you willing to take out the bead on your chest? Without that treasure, with only your early deity transformation cultivation, how could you have lasted this long in my hands? I almost forgot it, this pearl is a top-notch spiritual treasure refined with 6 great materials, and with the discerning eye of the Star Palace Master, they should know its value. Yeah, this is somewhat useful to the Star Palace. I'll bring it back. The rest of the things belong to me. What do you think, Valodars? Yeah, sure. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Patriarch Darkbones forcibly threw a storage pouch towards you with an ashen expression. After you finished counting and confirmed there were no mistakes, you agreed to let him go. We got rich, boys. We got super rich. Okay, you didn't see most of them, but here you can see it. Hell yeah, Divine, Cheap Hill, etc. We can give them to my Taos companion. Anything else? I made you look at at me with new eyes. Absolutely. Oh, more 5 Cheap Hills. How many am I at? 9, easy. Anyone else? After this, the White Emperor Pavilion will be left to that little brat. I didn't expect that old gluttonous to have taken my essence blood back then. Although we have studied the records of Tribulations, witnessing the site benefited me. And what's up with you? Triple dot. By the way, the bloodlines this one guy took was on one hand from the Kun in Langfang, and we even had an event, I showcased it, where there were some records about it. Then also from the Dragon Sea, and there were also some records about it, I believe in the Thunder Sea, where they tried to fuse it. Then with the Qilin, we saw some in like Mount Rising Sun or Mount Wu, where we did the quest with Xuan Lanor, the guy who wanted like treasures and so on, and created the demon refining powder. And lastly, the Black Tortoise bloodline was obtained back then in the Shifting Sand Sect. Like 1,000 or I believe 10,000 years ago, a deity transformation fell with earth attribute and so on. And that deity transformation beast, I believe it's like a pushing mountain beast, it's called, has this Black Tortoise bloodline. And those materials were eventually auctioned off right here, and we could have bought them as well. But let's leave now. 52 minutes! Goddamn. But we are now ready. We can look at this sword as well. Sword to the green. We need to inform Nishishin as well. But we can learn the last technique, the 9 turns technique. At the beginning of the battle, gain Sword Chi, and whenever we do 9 sword moves, Sword Chi is triggered once in terms of damage. And lastly, the truth of the Imperial Sword Sect. The ancient God Sect failed to take the Immortal sword, so they designed to leave a demonic or devil god Gu inside this sword and secretly implanted it into Wei Wuji's body while he was refining the sword. After leaving the Ningzhou ancient ruins, the ancient god sect used the disciples planted within the Heavenly Firegate to spread rumors of the Immortal Sword Sect's involvement with the Demon Sect. Eventually, the experts of the 5 major sects besieged the Royal Sword Sect or Imperial Sword Sect, and it was destroyed. We got all of the truth. Hell yeah. Next episode, since this is super long, we'll check in with Nishishin, and then we will deal with, on one hand, the 1000-year event, then the 950-year event, and I believe then it's time for either Lady Ziling to become deity transformation or for us to face our heavenly tribulation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this in-depth and like ultimate battle episode, and see you guys next time. Have a great day.